celebration of when there are good times and tough times in Sri Lanka, and that sharing of the stories, of histories, and also of the opportunities, including business opportunities, between our countries. And so I am grateful for that learning, those insights, and that support and friendship. It was very important to me as well that when I took on the role, that I was able to build that strong relationship with each country and continue to do that in my area in the Indo-Pacific, but recognizing as well that for the countries and the relationships we have between our nations, that the connection that we keep with our diaspora communities here in the UK is very much part of that very important living bridge between our countries. And it's also the case that that extends with how we build links between our communities. And what we see here in Hounslow, the links between the communities that have been here for many, many years, decades, those who are some of our councillors who grew up in our local area, just as I grew up in our local area here. But then with newer communities, to recognise that the strengths and the links that we build between each other are also part of the story that we are building here in Hounslow and indeed in Whitton. But I will say as well that it is that sense of strong solidarity, the strong solidarity that we have felt before when we've had some of the challenges in Sri Lanka that we have fundraised for as well previously, and Mr. Dias also raising funds every year for those who are with disabilities and with other needs. We share in those endeavours because we come together as a whole community. And it is in that spirit that we have stood in solidarity with Sri Lanka with the very tough situation from Cyclone Ditwa that really affected Sri Lanka in the ways that we have seen, and with the funding that we were able to support from the United Kingdom that the Foreign Secretary had also announced. And that is important because where we see these tragedies, it is very much on our minds that as an international community that we can support places like Sri Lanka to be able to support its people, to get the communities back and be able to rebuild their lives, to deal with the loss and the tragedy, to be able to rebuild their jobs, their livelihoods, their infrastructure. And we do that, and we are together, not just for today but for tomorrow. And so I'm grateful for all those conversations that we have had, and also the delegation that I was able to meet in Parliament and in our office, and the conversations we had about the range of issues that are of concern to both of our countries. And so I'm mostly incredibly grateful to you, Mr. Dias, because it is your work year in, year out that continues to keep the Hounslow Janahanda Foundation active, involved, running its important events like the New Year event in April that we have, Shana and Tamil New Year, and bringing together all generations, young generations, older generations, keeping history and culture alive, but making sure that it is part of the cohesion that we build of our whole community together, and a contribution to keeping Hounslow strong as one community. So I thank you, Mr. Dias, and I know that there is a book now being written about your life that will be telling an important story of the challenges that you have faced and how you have overcome them, and how you have dedicated your life to doing public good for others. So we thank you for that, and we wish you every success with the book, and also every success with the Hounslow Janahanda Foundation for its work in the community. Thank you.
Thank you so much.